Welcome to First Things First. I'm Brooke Blurt and my pronouns are she and her.
I'm Maddie Mills, my pronouns are he and him, and before we get started, we'd like to acknowledge the custodians of the land on which we record, and today, for me, that's the Gadigal People of the Eora Nation.
And for me, I'm back in Melbourne, Surrendering people of the Kulin Nation. Let's go.
Let's get into it.
So we were just chatting before about 30th. Oh my God.
Yes.
Because I'm counting down the days. It's literally in like less than 8 weeks. Yeah.
It is so soon for you.
It's so crazy. I don't ever feel 30 though. I feel like
when
22
you squat,
in
do
my
your
mind.
knees crack?
Not yet. Not yet. I've got good knees, good ankles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I love that. See, I'm just scared. I was having a conversation with someone on the weekend who's 31, and they were like, you just wait. Your body you start to feel it once you turn 30. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
Ooh, I'm scared.
That reminds me of what Dad was telling me the other day. We were on the phone and he said when you get older, when you get to the ground, so like when you're sitting or like you need to pick up something, he's like, you start to think about all the things that you should probably do down there because it's so hard to get back up.
Next minute, you're just crawling around the room.
And I never laughed so hard at Dad saying that. Like it's like so right, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, should I?
Is
Should
it
I
really
do
that far down once you get older?
I know, but my dad's really tall, so he's like,
Yeah. That'll be for me.
So funny, yeah.
Oh. But I mean, 30, how did we get here? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I still don't know.
Yeah, it seems like when you're young, you think that 30 is a long way away. You think that it's an age where, you know, you're very mature and have your shit together and you've got it all sorted. And you get here, well, we're nearly there. You're really close. And it's like, I still feel young. I still feel like I don't know exactly what's going on. And I feel like I still feel in my early 20s.
Yeah.
You know?
I honestly think, why is the emphasis so much on those decades?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, but like 20 didn't seem like a decade, right? Like 18 was where you get to and you're like, yeah, I'm an adult. Not really. Like, let's be honest, you're still a child.
Totally, yes.
And then there was no big emphasis on 20. Like, you're in your, and then, you know, there's your 20s when you're in your 20s.
Yeah.
But 30 and then 40, like, all those decades just start to get, like, so much more emphasis. And I feel like so much more pressure to be at a certain, like, stage or place. But from what I've heard, and this is just from, like, a general consensus of my friends and family, that your 30s are the best years because you've established yourself in 30 years. And that's like the best thing, I think, because your 20s are figuring it all out and your 30s is like, okay, yeah, like I've done the work now and I know who I am. And there are people that have probably found themselves earlier than that. But I think like your 30s like really established, like you're taking it a little bit more serious, I think, you know. You're not in your 20s anymore. You're not in your baby era.
Did you ever feel like when you were younger that you were going to sort of have it all sorted out or like for me, I remember even in my early teens thinking that by the age I was 21, I wanted to have like everything that I ever wanted, you know, the pressure of having success or having the house or the car or the big dream or the big goals fulfilled by the age of 21. Like how insane is that to even comprehend now, like, you know, 10 years past that and it's like, we're still figuring it out.
I think that's so human though because I did have a timeline. When I was younger, I think I couldn't tell you what my timeline was. I wasn't really that set on it because I think when I was younger, I was trying to survive and trying to make a life for myself. So I don't think I could really envision that because there was so much happening in my life. But I think when I got more settled in my early 20s and I started to, you know, develop my career, I was like, okay, like when I had a long-term relationship, I think that was what helped push my timeline because, you know, when you're building a life together with someone, which I feel like that, you know, that's something you and Danny are doing. Yeah. You start to plan and you start to, I guess, lock those sort of things in because that's what you worked for, I guess, in a relationship. Yeah. Like, right? But, I mean, you know, there are relationships that are just loosey-goosey and we just go with the flow. But I'm like, totally. Okay, yeah, sure. Broken up next week now. But, like, I've only really thought about those timelines when I was in a relationship. But being single and, I guess, sort of figuring it out and establishing myself by myself and for myself, I haven't put so much pressure on the timeline. I definitely thought I'd be in a different place, and I still have those feelings.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure, the kids have always been on my cards. But actually, funny enough, this is such a weird thing that I haven't really spoken about. But when I was younger, my stepmom used to ask me, like, would I have children? I was very maternal when I was in community. Like, I always had a kid on my hip, like, walking around with babies.
Yeah.
But then when I got to my dad's and my stepmom, I didn't have that.
Okay.
So I got to kind of like learn to be a kid. Funny enough, I actually then wasn't into dolls and stuff like that. Like I was into drawing, art and sport.
Yeah.
Children weren't really like something that I wanted. It was just in community that I'd always like been around and like become so maternal about. And then I was like, when I was there, like, I didn't really want to be around kids and babies. I was I wasn't like, I got asked to babysit and I'd babysit, but that was about it. But then when my stepmom asked me, like, do you want children? I would actually say to her, no. Obviously, that changed over time, and I realised that I do love working with kids.
Yes.
There's certain ages that I love working with, and I think it's the age when I was younger, when my mum died, was 11. So I feel like that age for me is, I know that it was crucial in my life, and that's the age that I want to work with. So I feel like it all came for full circle. But in terms of timeline, right, like the older I get, the more I'm moving away from children.
Well, I was just about to say, you said something to me the other day when we were shopping, and you said, we were talking about kids, and you said, I don't know if I want kids anymore. And I thought that was interesting. I thought, we've had many conversations about kids, and by you saying that, it definitely felt like maybe you had a change of thought about being a mum. Is that something that like has come recently?
Yeah, like I had lunch with friends yesterday, and they've had a 6-month-old, and she's so beautiful, like little Millie. And, I'm holding her and I'm enjoying that time, and I feel that, like that sort of maternal instinct with like like making sure this little thing is safe and happy.
Yeah.
But there is that, I guess, that sort of disconnection that I have now, that it's like, I like my freedom. Having a dog is a big responsibility, and like now, like I'm in Melbourne and Cobra's with you, and I feel like guilty because I'm like, well, my child, my dog child, is not with me, and I feel like I'm, and so I just can't. I just don't want to have to live with that kind of guilt and responsibility in this moment right now of taking care of something. I just want to actually live a little bit longer, I think. Yeah. Because I only feel like I've just started, which is crazy. So I'll flip over to 30. I'll turn that next chapter, that next, level up. Yeah. And I feel like I've only just really started living. Like I want to actually explore international travel. I want to achieve like things. Like I want to climb and hike and do these fun things. But if I have a kid, that responsibility or that freedom and that independence can be sort of impacted, I guess, and I think that's what I'm trying. I'm being a bit selfish. Yeah, but it's
I get
selfless because I'm still figuring out myself too. Yeah, like I'm not perfectly where I would like to. No, I guess like no one really is, are they? Like perfectly where they want to be. What was your timeline?
Well, my timeline, I always felt like when I was younger that I wanted to achieve and have success early in my life, and I wanted to like tick off the big goals of buying a house and. Okay,
did you have ages of what you would want to do?
Yeah, like, early, and I'm talking early 20s, and it just those
all in your early 20s.
Yeah, in
all
my early 20s,
like 25.
Yeah, and
that's insane.
It is insane, but I think as a kid I thought, shoot for the stars and try and achieve it. But I think
shoot for the stars, land on the moon, or land on the side of the road,
or land in a rental. But like
in
for
Sydney,
me,
inflation.
So I just think right now, like I'm very much moving towards having a kid. Like I think that there are things in my life that I'm planning and making room for. So I think that I'm on a trajectory right now in terms of a timeline that I'm really happy with. Yeah. I know that by the time I'm, in my mid-30s, I would like to have my first child. So it's like over the next year or two, it'd be like a planning stage,
Yeah.
and then going into that. And that timeline doesn't depend on a partner for me. So whether I'm with my partner who I'm still with or whether I'm single, I know that timeline is something that I'm working towards.
Yeah.
And I feel really happy and really like excited about the future when it comes to children. But I also know that now it's time to kick into gear and do the next level of work. So for me, you know, my career has always been my first love, and I feel like I want to continue to put that first for now, and then, you know, in a year or two, really start that, I don't know, process of having a child. But for me, I'm not scared by the biological clock. You know what I mean? It's not a concern for a male. I have the privilege of being able to, you know, have kids when I want. Really,
put it in wherever you want.
So, you know, I don't have that pressure like a female does. So for me, there's a little bit of less stress around the timing, but I do know that it'll be in the next few years that I have my first child, but I want, you know, a couple. So I don't know. I think I definitely know that it'll be by the time I'm 35, I'll have my kids, because I also want to live a long life with my kids. I want to be able to be around for a long time. So, you know, I don't want to have them too late because of that reason. But yeah, I think that in terms of 30s, I'm excited for what it will bring for me. I'm like, okay, I've got another 6 months, mind you. I'm not 30 until May, so I'm like halfway there from 29. But I'm looking forward to it. I think my 30th year will be the year of like elevation.
Yeah. I feel like it's some sort of like Sims game or like PC game where it's like you level up.
And
I just feel like I'm leveling up, but not leveling up where I thought I would be leveling up, like in different ways. But I think it's all making sense to me now, because I'm like not a go with the flow kind of girl.
I want to encourage you to do all the things you want to do. You know, you're talking about traveling solo. Like, go and do it. Go to New York, go and explore the art scene over there. Do all the things that you want to do before, you know, you even consider having a child. Because as we know, children then become our priority, and everything else sort of, you know, does have to get put on the back burner for a little while.
Yeah, exactly. Know? And I've always said, when I do want to have kids, which I'm no problem, you know, I know women have, you know, time restraint and you know, their bodies. But I feel like I've already spoken about freezing my eggs. And you know, that will happen when I can dedicate the time and like emotional capacity, because I'm also scared of needles and you have to like inject yourself. So it's quite an overwhelming experience.
Ooh, that's why I've never done steroids.
Well, never say never.
Never say never.
Kidding.
No, but yeah, I'm really scared of
that. Well,
needles.
That's what I mean. Yeah, injecting yourself like terrifies me. But I don't know. I don't care if I was an older mum. Like, in a way, because I think I would be quite a philosophical mum. Like, I wouldn't be a yeller or I want to train myself out of being a helicopter mum, because I'm a bit of a helicopter mum with my dog. Yeah. And I don't want to be like that as a mum. And so I think I need more life experience.
Be like that. I know,
because you just don't want them to hurt themselves, and, you know, you have a duty of care.
I'd be like, where are you going? To the cinemas? Okay, I'm going to have a steak out with your dad and we're going to watch you.
Yeah.
Like, legit, I'll be across the road in the car with the binoculars, like, yeah, okay, he's there, he's all good, okay, great. I can imagine myself,
But you know what? I think the best thing is that we probably will be parents that we didn't have. And I'm not saying your parents are not beautiful and you don't love them deeply, but
I love them, but they absolutely weren't there for me when I was young.
Yeah, I want to be like I want to be a hands-on mum, but like, you go and explore, because I was talking to my friends yesterday, because obviously they've just had their first, and then, you know, I didn't want to overstep and ask them like, oh, when's your second? But like my friend Beck was like, yeah, I sort of just want to get over and done with, because a lot of her stuff is on hold because of the baby, and so she's like, if I just get it all the way, then and then I get to go back to my life quicker. Isn't that sad?
But isn't that? But I think like that too, you know.
Yeah. It's like, fast, and then, go back to your life.
It's sort of like, I think about that too. It's the decision between holding off and getting shit done now, or having a baby and then getting back to it. My mentality around it, bringing a child into the world, is exactly that. I'm concerned that, like, when do I bring the baby into the world? Because even for me, I'm going to be like the mum, you know what I mean? I'm going to be the one to take time off. I'm going to be the one that has to, you know, really put in the effort, I feel. So, like, I'm worried about that timeline as well. It's like, when do you do it? Do you do it now and then, get it over and done with? Or do you wait and then... Or,
Well, at least you don't have to carry it for 9 months on top of, like, actually the responsibility starting, like, in 100%.
It's much more for a woman who's carrying a baby, of course.
Yeah. That's just a crazy thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, I feel like, babies are on the cards, but I think maybe in the next decade.
What is it that you want to tick off? I know acting, you got to 29 and now you're doing acting.
I know, isn't it? I wish I did it sooner, but I'm so glad that I'm doing it now because I've got so much more life experience to bring to the table. And I think, there is that feeling, like, oh, am I too old? But I'm like, look, I look like fucking 18. Like,
totally.
Calm down, Brooke. You need to chill. I do have a list and a mental list. And I feel like... it's crazy because we both have achieved so much in such a short period of time. Like when you think about it, right? Like, I'd say we're probably like one of the youngest duos in podcasts. Like, there's younger people, obviously, but like I feel like we're the youngest, like, First Nations duo in. What do you call it?
We're the youngest, but we're also like one of the only First Nations duos with a podcast on a mainstream network.
That's what I probably was trying to spit out. Sorry, that's probably what I was trying to spit out. Blah, 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 blah. In my 30s, I want to learn English. English. Iglesias.
I am Mrs.
I do want to learn another language. I am doing US accents. I'm practicing US and British accent.
Can you give me a US accent?
Absolutely not. No, I'm still learning. I feel like I've got the
I just turned into a
idea
valley
of
girl.
I've got the idea of like Southern. New York's really hard, like Brooklyn, New York, like Boston.
Boston.
Valley Girl's easy. Like
Valley Girl is easy.
Yeah, because it's
easy?
like
hi, how are you?
Yeah,
nice
how
to see
are
you.
And it's really weird about your mouth, and so I'm learning. But that's on the list.
Okay.
Obviously, a lot of travel solo.
You said climbing and hiking?
Yeah, like, I want to say that I've done
Mount Kilimanjaro.
Well, like things... Oh, God, where's that?
Kilimanjaro?
Where is it?
No, I don't know. Rach, where's Mount Kilimanjaro? It's in...
Yeah, where is that?
It's South America.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Africa?
Africa.
Oh.
It's not.
Okay.
Yeah, but, like have those, like... things that I could say to the kids.
Yeah.
Oh, like, there's your mum. That was me after I hiked, blah, blah, blah. And
we're going through that photo album.
Exactly. Yeah. There's
totally.
Because I want my kids to, like, future children and my family to be like, oh, that is so cool. Like, I want to do that, and aspire for more. Because I feel like I've just been in my Aussie bubble.
Yep.
And I have, been so passionate about First Nations culture and pushing that forward. And I think there's a huge shift. I've noticed a lot more like, I'm seeing mob everywhere, which is amazing. Like, it's just so good. Like, I saw Billie Jean on a See Folly campaign and I'm like,
I know.
I'm like, that is a slay. Like, seeing that is like, oh my God, amazing, But I think, I have like, I said I was going to be my best fitness. What is it? My best
era?
Well, I just feel good about my body at the moment.
Oh, good.
At the moment. It could change. Body dysmorphia is a thing.
Yeah.
So Rach got us a list.
Okay.
Travel solo, obviously.
I've never done it, but I want to do it.
I haven't done a lot of it on my account. Like, I have travelled solo for jobs and
But
work.
you're not solo, you're with a team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's very
It's not the same as just getting your bag and going somewhere to another country and getting off that plane, not knowing anyone and figuring it out yourself, I've never done it, but I would like to.
Truly. Exactly. Yeah. I've already ran a half marathon.
Oh.
So I ran the HBF run for a reason in 2020.
What's a half marathon? How long?
23 Ks or 22 Ks.
Girl. Yeah. That's a long way.
God, I can't remember. That's how long ago it was. Maybe I need to run a full. That's the 42.1.
Would you ever? Yeah. So would you consider doing the New York Marathon with the Indigenous Marathon Runners Project?
I mean, I followed their journey and I love it. And yes, I would.
I'm
I'll put it on
considering
the list.
signing up for
Yeah.
next year.
Well, I did sign up years and years ago, actually,
did you?
and didn't get in. So.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of doing it because I was really inspired by the Corey physio. He did it in 3 hours and 20 minutes, and I'm like, wow.
That's amazing.
He's deadly.
Yeah. I mean, definitely in my running era, I've definitely been enjoying, I guess where I'm living in Sydney, it's just so easy to run.
Yeah.
It's like the best. Like I got the Harbour Bridge there. I'm like, Jesus, stunning.
Yeah, totally.
Love it.
Yeah. I just can't imagine doing it, like running for that long. Is it like, I just don't think I could do it, honestly.
Well, when I did the half, that was like 2 hours. It was quite a long time. I think if you listen to podcasts, it flies, but it's the pain. And there's a word that it's like when you put your shoes on, right? You first feel that awkwardness, but after a while you get used to it.
Yeah.
I guess that's a similar pain to when you're running. You immediately feel a pain, but then you get so used to it because you're like motoring, and it's just more of a mental battle than it really is physically. I mean, it depends on your state and what you're in. Totally. But I think you feel the pain, but you learn to go through it or pass it. You just and I think podcasts and voices, you know, the distraction of what's going on. And if you can get into a rhythm and a motor, that's how I feel when I'm running. If I'm going long distance is just getting into a rhythm and not like putting pressure on a time thing. Yes, I want to get a fast time. But personally me, like as a little person, I can't make the ground as what other people can unless I'm like an elitist runner. But it's the rhythm. Skinny dipping.
Yeah, skinny dipping. Have you done it?
I actually have, and it was quite liberating.
Okay, where did you do it?
I was in an hour south of Melbourne, I think. Okay. And I was with Courtney, Sam, and Jake and Kat. Like, it was just a camping
The way you
experience.
said Jake. It was real bogan.
I was going to say Jack.
You were like, I was with Courtney, Sam again, and Jake.
See, I told you, I'm in my 30s and I want to learn proper English.
Yeah, you should. Nah. No.
No, but they got this like video of me. So I went skinny dipping, and they've captured this photo of me, and I've got it for life because it's like, I don't know, it just feels like I'm really free. Like I've got my hands up. Yeah. I'm just like naked, titties out. It's just my back. You can just see my bum. I'm like, I'm not going to show that to my kids, but I'll be like.
No, you should. Look at me in my heyday. You'll be like, look at Mum. She was hot.
She was a slay. And they'll be like, Mum, you can't say that. Yeah. It's too old. It's like us. Oh, God.
It's like us saying, like, when old people say, that's groovy. We'll be going, that's a slay. And I'll be going, that's really old. You can't use that word.
No, I can bring back groovy.
Groovy?
That's groovy.
Groovy,
that's
yeah.
Groovy, baby.
All right. I learned to speak another language. I want to do this. I want to learn Spanish. Duolingo is
You've
my friend.
You've got a Colombian man.
Yeah, but ain't nobody want to, like, get your partner to teach you, you know? Like,
oh yeah, you guys would have the biggest fights because you wouldn't say...
I wouldn't say it right, and he'd be impatient, and he'd probably get up and walk out, and it wouldn't work. It'd end the relationship, I'm sure.
No.
I'd be like, well, can you teach me how to break up with you?
In Spanish?
In Spanish. Learn how to read a wine list. Nah, I don't care about that. What do you think?
Oh, I already know how to do that.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
What's a Tempranillo?
Tempranillo? Oh, well, do you need like specifics of wine?
Yeah. Like when you look at the list, you would understand what region they're from and.
Oh, okay. That depth. Well, I don't know that. So I take that back.
It's a deep red with a bit of grape and blackberry.
I know the spectrum of like a wine, like where they would sit, I guess, and like different blends. I mean, I'm not an expert for sure, but like I don't know. I feel like I've spent enough time at wineries to understand, a little bit about wine. Private health insurance. How do you not have private health insurance?
Well, but they say that you should get it when you're 30. That's the thing. It's because things start to break down. Not in 2025.
Oh God, I've been paying private health insurance since I was in my fucking 20s because I was playing footy.
Yeah.
I broke my collarbone. Do you think I want to fork out a $950 bill for an ambulance? Nah, honey. No. What
about taking a grown-up weekend away with friends? I feel like you do that.
I do that. Yes, I love that.
Yeah,
like I
that's
felt
your vibe.
so grown up when it was just me and my 2 friends and their baby. Like I was like, oh, this is a real grown up like lunch, you know? Like, oh my God, we're just catching up.
I feel like that when I'm catching up with my mum friends.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's like such a grown up. I mean, I want to do more trips together where we can just like drink oak barrel, drink wine.
Yeah.
I was going to be real wanky then. No, we drink wine.
No, I'm doing the opposite. I'm really trying to continue the sober thing. I really want to do it. Like it's in my heart. So I'm like, okay, 2025, sober.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like a big thing for me and my partner too. We're really like, it's just a better life. Like I remember when I was 110 days sober and I just thought to myself, oh, I'm so clear in my head. The clarity is amazing. I'd never felt that before. So yeah.
Wow. I love that for you. I think I'm just keeping it to the weekends and not putting so much like, like I put so much pressure on myself to like be a certain way.
I feel like
if I'm enjoying it, fuck it.
I think that you have measure, and I do dumb shit when I drink. Like I'm not the kind that is like, let's have 2 sips of alcohol and talk really nice. It's like, let's have 2 sips of alcohol. Let's go to a party. Let's not get home until 5 a.m. You know, it's just not. It's not a positive impact on my life. I just go down.
It's so fucking bad. Yeah. My friends tell me that I'm it's a joke. So they're
You're
not
a sensible
that
drunk.
No,
calling you a drunk.
No, my friends tell me that I'm so much better because I get funnier and I get extroverted, and I'm like, well, okay, well that's not good because maybe I just need to be drunk this whole time. This film. Can I tell you? Okay, highs and lows of 20s. Let's go into that just quickly. I have to tell you a story, and it's really crazy moment, and I think this will traject me into my 30s, which is insane to think about me as a little person and this happening ever in my fucking life. So I went to the basketball on Saturday night.
Yep.
Danny Minogue's a huge basketball advocate. She has a box, and her son's a great, like he loves basketball so much, collects the cards and gets the signatures, etc.
Yeah.
Anyways, Nick, who's the CEO of Melbourne United, told Danny, because Danny knows who the fuck I am, which is so weird. Like, comes up to me, says hello, like, talks to me as if, like, and remembers when I've last seen her. Like, that is just mind-blowing to my little self, being like, the Minogue of my childhood, Carly and Danny, obviously. Yeah. It's like, she knows who the fuck I am. It's weird. Anyways, Nick, one of my good friends, works for the CEO. He told Danny that I was filming a feature film in Sydney.
Yep.
Must have given her a little rundown of it.
Yeah.
She comes up to me. She beelines for me. She grabs my hands, holding 2 hands, and looks me deep in my eyes and says, "You're going to absolutely kill it, honey." Gives me the biggest fucking hype talk you can ever imagine. Ori, which is Denzel Baker Boy's partner, is standing there like watching and just being like, God, I'm not even fucking filming a feature film, and I feel like I can do it after Danny's chat. Like, she gave me the biggest hype that I've ever had in my life. Like, and it was so genuine and authentic and deep. And I was like awkward because I was like, I don't know if this is real. Like, I was like spinning out, and she was like, you can absolutely fucking do it. You're going to smash it. She's swearing at me. Danny's swearing at me, saying, you can fucking do this. Yeah. And she's like, she goes, when you've got the nerves, you say, Danny's got this. So when you go out on that camera and you do your thing, I've got your nerves, babe. She's like, I've got your nerves. Wow. Danny's holding your nerves, and you just go out and you just show up and you just do your fucking thing.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, you're going to go to America? I'm like, does she even know that I have plans? Like, who told her this? Because I haven't told anyone, like barely anyone. She's like, no, you're going to go to fuck America. Like, you're going to do it.
Oh, my God. Can we get her on here? Let's get her on the pod.
100% want her. Like,
because this moment needs to be spoken about, and also I want a pep talk.
Fucking
Let's make this about me.
Ori looked at me and she goes, how the fuck did that just happen? Like, it was insane. Like, she's like, you've absolutely fucking got this. Looked me deep in my eyes. Like, I could not, like, if I looked anywhere, she was like, pulls me back. She was like, no, she needed to tell me this. And I just felt like, anyways, I'm fucking, that is like the biggest confident booster, like, to go into your 30s with like Danny Minogue fucking giving you the biggest hype talk of your life.
100%.
Like, love you, Danny. You're my girl. I would die for you.
Yeah. I love that.
Anyways.
Okay.
But yeah.
Slay.
But okay, so wrap this up. Highs and lows of your 20s.
I know what my low is. My low is losing my brother, 100%. I never thought that would happen in my 20s. And my high is just being able to do what I love and being able to create this career for myself that was always my dream. You know, I wake up every day and I get to do what I love. That for me is a high. No one tells me what to do. I do what I love, and I fucking love that.
That's amazing. And you built that in your 20s.
Yeah, I built that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I fucking agree.
Mm-hmm.
Similar, actually, 20s. Building myself up to be the strongest, resilient version of myself that doesn't, obviously I'm very sensitive, but I feel like partly impenetrable. Like, as in, like, things could happen and I would be like, okay, let's just roll with it, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like I did that in my 20s because of all the shit that happened, like, and the lows that happened. So my highest version of myself is because of all the lowest versions of that, you know, in my 20s. And I feel like, you know, taking a chance, I think one of the biggest moments was taking a chance and doing national television when I was 23 years old, a fucking baby. Yeah. And here I am, like, developed my career, writing fucking 3 books, you know, self-sufficient financially, physically. I just think like, I'm my lowest obviously was losing not just my sister as well, but I think like all the dull moments, all the breakups, all the shitty things that happened, all the comments, all the controversy online, all the people that sort of did things and you know, impacted me negatively. I'm like, thank you. Like, fucking thank you. Because I look at those moments, I'm like, I'm so fucking glad I got through that.
Yeah.
Like, in my 30s, I'm like, I'll look back at that and be like, fuck that. Like, and I know what I'm not repeating, and I know, and I think that's the best thing about, like, your next era of your life is, like, you don't repeat the same shit.
Well, you know what? Your shirt says it all.
Oh, yeah. Do you like
your
my
shirt says it all.
Yeah.
And it says, dump him.
Yeah.
Is that your advice to the listeners?
It's my advice to myself.
I love that. Well,
anyways.
I feel like that is a great place to wrap up.
Yeah, perfect.
What an awesome 29 years it's been for you.
Likewise,
I mean,
baby.
Highs and lows, but you know what? You should be fucking proud of yourself. Here's to the next fucking
29 years, to be fair with you.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Throw wrinkly.
You know what? My high is becoming friends with you.
Aww.
And building a business and a life together.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that too. Okay, I take mine back.
Yeah, that's my high. Okay, and building a community. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening, guys, today. And I hope, you know, wherever you are at life, I feel like there's no pressure to be at a certain place. You know what? Just like fucking roll with it and just go for it. I think go for it is the thing that I would do. Just do it.
Yes. And you know what another high is? That we're up for Best Indigenous Podcast this week.
Fuck yes. So you guys have to go
Australian Podcast Awards.
Give us your biggest support and, you know, leave a little review and a rating because we love sharing that as well. Like we take that so much on, like, as in we love it. So thank you. If you want us to cover anything on the future episodes, let us know. My socials at Brooke.Blett and Maddie's is at It's Maddie Mills.
And we love you, Mob. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.